If you're over 60, one simple evening habit can quietly weaken your sleep, drain your energy, and reduce your overnight recovery. Even though most people consider it harmless or even healthy, eating a banana before bed, not because bananas are a problem. They are one of the most beneficial foods for older adults. But the aging body processes minerals, sugars, and digestive workloads differently than it did decades ago. And these changes determine whether a banana becomes a natural sleep aid or an unnoticed source of nighttime disruption. Many older adults assume that if a food is healthy, it must help regardless of timing. Yet sleep, digestion, hormone cycles, and blood sugar regulation all follow predictable rhythms. And after 60, these rhythms become more sensitive to what you eat and when you eat it. A banana may support relaxation, muscle recovery, and steady heart rhythm, but only if its nutrients reach the system at the moment when the body can actually use them. When it arrives at the wrong time, the same healthy fruit can interrupt deep sleep, destabilize blood sugar, or activate digestive processes that delay the transition to rest. To understand why timing matters so much, consider the way the body prepares for sleep. As evening approaches, metabolic activity slows. The autonomic nervous system shifts from alertness to winding down. The digestive tract reduces movement, gastric emptying becomes slower, and insulin responses flatten. At the same time, the brain begins shifting precursors into melatonin production, a process that becomes less efficient with age. These internal transitions happen quietly, but they determine whether the night becomes restorative or fragmented. What many seniors don't realize is that these transitions start hours before bedtime. The body gradually reduces cortisol, lowers core temperature, and shifts blood flow away from skeletal muscles toward internal recovery processes. Any food that requires noticeable digestive effort competes with these natural changes. Even mild gastrointestinal activity raises heart rate slightly and increases sympathetic nervous system activity, which delays the onset of deep sleep. This is one reason why an evening routine that once felt effortless in earlier decades now produces noticeably different results. The internal buffer that once compensated for late-night snacks or irregular timing becomes smaller with age, and the body reacts more directly to anything that disrupts its evening trajectory. When a banana arrives at the wrong moment, the body must redirect energy that would otherwise be used to stabilize sleep architecture. The banana enters this environment with a specific combination of nutrients. Magnesium and vitamin B6 support the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin and then melatonin. Potassium helps regulate muscle tension and stabilizes the heart's electrical rhythm. Slowly released carbohydrates maintain steady glucose levels during the early phases of sleep. In a younger body, these processes are robust and forgiving. In an older body, they are more dependent on timing, hydration, and digestive workload. A banana can amplify the body's natural transition into sleep, or push against it. One of the most common mistakes older adults make is eating a banana immediately before lying down. A banana feels light, but it still requires active digestion. The stomach needs time to begin breaking down its fibers and carbohydrates. And this process competes directly with the body's evening effort to shift into its parasympathetic, recovery-focused setting. When digestion and sleep initiation happen at the same time, neither process works optimally. The body becomes slightly more alert. Heart rate stabilization is delayed. Deep sleep begins later. Most seniors don't fully wake up, but they feel the effects the next morning. Heavier legs, slower mental clarity, or a sense of not being fully rested. Equally important is the degree of ripeness. As bananas age, their carbohydrate structure shifts from resistant starch to fast-acting sugars. A firm, lightly yellow banana releases energy steadily, supporting stable glucose levels. A brown speckled banana delivers a rapid glucose rise. In younger adults, this rise triggers a normal insulin response. In older adults, the response is slower, and the subsequent glucose drop often arrives at 2 or 3 in the morning, one of the most vulnerable phases of the night. This drop does not always wake you fully, but it can trigger microarousals, restless turning, elevated heart rate, or early waking that feels unprovoked. Another overlooked factor is food pairing. Many seniors add a banana to yogurt, cereal, toast, or a small evening dessert, assuming it creates a balanced, gentle snack. But combining the fruit with quick carbohydrates or lactose can intensify glucose fluctuations, or extend digestion far into the night. at an age when stomach emptying is slower and digestive hormones are less predictable. These combinations keep the body in an active metabolic state long after you intend to be asleep. The banana itself may be calming, but the mixture acts against the nighttime physiology. Timing also influences how effectively the body uses potassium. Older adults often assume that potassium acts immediately, but the element depends heavily on hydration and sodium balance, two factors that often decline through the day. When hydration is insufficient, potassium uptake slows dramatically. Instead of relaxing muscles, the body may struggle to correct the electrolyte imbalance. This is one of the reasons why some seniors experience leg cramps or a slightly irregular feeling in the chest during the night, even when they believe their diet is supporting them. Understanding these interactions helps explain why some seniors notice that eating a banana earlier in the evening makes them feel more settled, whereas eating it too late makes them restless. The difference is not the fruit, it is the alignment between nutrient timing and the body's nighttime systems. When magnesium and vitamin B6 reach the brain at the moment melatonin synthesis begins. When potassium enters cells as the cardiovascular system shifts into its nightly slow rhythm, and when glucose remains stable through the first major sleep cycle, the banana becomes a natural sleep supporter. What makes this even more relevant is the way the body's sleep architecture changes with age. Deep sleep becomes shorter, REM cycles shift, and the threshold for disturbances becomes lower. A mistimed snack may not bring full wakefulness, but it can reduce the length of deep sleep or fragment the early night recovery window. These effects compound over time. When seniors look back and say, "I don't know why I wake up tired," they often underestimate the cumulative influence of evening routines that are only slightly misaligned with their physiological rhythms. When the routine is adjusted, the improvements can be surprisingly noticeable. Eating a banana at the right time, usually about 1 hour before bed, reduces the digestive workload at the critical moment when the body transitions into its recovery phase. The nutrients arrive gradually, supporting muscle relaxation, smoother heart rate variability, and a steadier metabolic curve. Many older adults who make this small change report that they fall asleep more predictably, stay asleep longer, and wake up with more consistent morning energy. To put this into context, think of nighttime recovery as a coordinated sequence. Deep sleep restores tissues and immune function. REM sleep stabilizes memory and mood. The first half of the night depends on stable glucose and electrolytes. The second half depends on calm cardiovascular rhythms and minimal metabolic activation. A well-timed banana supports both halves of this sequence. A poorly timed one competes with them. The goal is not to avoid bananas. They are one of the most supportive evening foods available. The goal is to match their strengths to your body's natural timing. A lightly ripe banana eaten about 1 hour before bed, paired with adequate hydration through the day and not combined with heavy carbohydrates or difficult-to-digest foods, becomes a simple and effective tool to support nighttime physiology. Your ability to sleep deeply does not disappear with age. It becomes more dependent on alignment between what you eat, when you eat it, and how your body processes nutrients during the night. When that alignment improves, sleep quality improves naturally. And when sleep improves, morning energy, mobility, mood, and overall resilience follow. Your body signals these needs long before sleep problems appear. Listening to those signals supports not only your rest, but the independence and stability that rely on restorative sleep.